So let us discuss sex linkage. First of all, sex linkage is an association during inheritance of a character with the sex of a progeny. Sex linkage is the consequence of a gene being located in the X or the sex chromosome. Now, normally, when we take the human Mendelian traits into example, the inheritance of this trait usually yields identical results. Now, by identical results, what I mean is it's familiar. The inheritance either results in it being dominant or recessive. Let us take one of the traits and let's take one of the traits as an example. Uh, Let us consider tongue rolling. Now, rolling of the tongue is one of the Mendelian traits in human beings. The ability to do so being the dominant trait, and the inability being the recessive. We'll take the R, the capital R, as the dominant one, and the small r as recessive one. Now, it does not matter if this particular trait is present in the male or the female parent. Inheritance usually results in dominance or recessiveness. Let us take for example that the male parent has this particular character, and it's dominant in him. And when it's in the when the after crossing, the F1 generation will either show a dominance of this trait, that is the ability to roll the tongue, or recessive trait, that is the inability to roll the tongue. There is no other things involved, nothing else. It's as simple as that. It is usually associated with the first 22 pairs of chromosomes, the autosomes. And there are many other examples in human Mendelian traits, like we've got the earlobes, the free hanging earlobes being the dominant trait, and the attached earlobes being the recessive trait, or the cleft chin. Those who have the cleft chin are considered to have the dominant trait, and those without the cleft are considered to have the recessive trait, or the presence of dimples being the dominant trait, and the absence of dimples being the recessive trait. There are many such examples among human beings. Now, as far as sex linkage goes, this particular sex linkage that we're talking about is associated with the 23rd pair of chromosome, that is the allosome. Sex linked traits are associated with allosomes of the 23rd pair of chromosomes. Now, it is a notable exception to the general rule that is produced due to the phenomenon of sex linkage. Sex linked traits are a notable exception to the general rule of inheritance of traits among autosomes, because the sex linked traits are associated with the sex chromosomes or the allosomes.